Hello guys and welcome back to Star Wars Yoda Public Central, and yes, I have a new microphone. I hope it sounds awesome for you guys and not as shit as the last one. I know it was really terrible, there was like lots of echo and stuff. But hey, welcome to the next tanking guide. This would be part 3, I believe. I think it's part 3, I hope it's part 3, I hope I got that right. Yeah, it's part 3, I know I got that right, don't worry. And today, well actually to be fair, I wasn't really sure what to do for this one. So what I've done is I've got my friend Telly. You've met him before in previous videos, and we're going to do a hard mode flashpoint together. He's just going to queue with me since it'll just be quicker for the pop on the group finder queue, and I'm basically just going to talk you guys through what I'm doing in the hard mode flashpoint. And I also just want you guys to know that you shouldn't really be scared of doing hard mode content, especially with flashpoints, because they can be really easy to adjust to, and hopefully I can show you guys enough tips and tricks and I guess just general information on tanking at endgame. As you can see, I'm level 60, I'm on my Guardian tank, and without further ado I shall queue us for a hard mode flashpoint. We're going to go for one of these ones in the category that I've already selected, so it's going to be Caravan Incursion, Assault and Typhon, etc, etc. I'll just go ahead and queue. Okay, so we're being added to the queue. I'll probably just skip the video to the point where we actually make the queue. Okay guys, so the queue did pop for us and we are in Assault and Typhon hard mode. So let's go ahead and we'll crack on with this one. I'll do my best to commentate this for you guys. I'm still not very good on the whole commentary thing, I guess, not unless I actually have a subject to talk about. I guess we do have a subject. I really hate those red AoEs, they're just gonna kinda just pop up on us anywhere. It's no problem. We'll go ahead and meet up with our group. The graphic glitches since this update today has just been absolutely awful. Okay, so we have our first mob. I'm going to leap in straight into this group here. I am not too concerned about tanking the trash, to be honest. You'll learn that as you get to the end game. The tanks kind of become lazy with trash. Especially me, I'm really lazy with trash. I hate tanking trash. If it's a boss then I'll do it properly, but with trash I'm not always too bothered. But yep, we will go for the strongest if we can actually not be stunned. Yep, continue with the objective. I don't know why that guy jumped down. We can go this way. Artillery battery. This is really strange. Yep, we're going to jump in straight onto the strong. Going to interrupt him because the DPS are too lazy to do it. We're going to cover that, okay, when we get to the DPS guides. I can't even believe that I'm saying I'm going to make a DPS guide, but I'm going to make a DPS guide because people need to know how to DPS. It's not always just as simple as battering things. That's too easy. It's too easy. Okay, so there is an elite in this mob, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull that first. I can use my saber reflect. As you can see, I'm reflecting any direct damage that I'm taking. It's obviously good at the start of the fight. As soon as you started, you got the attention of everything, so reflecting all the damage is really good for holding that aggro. And we're going to jump down this way. Hopefully this group is one of the good ones where you can actually do the first boss properly and not cheat and run out to the barricades as people usually do on this one. Don't know if anybody else does that or knows about that on the hard mode Assault and Typhon. Okay. Straight in on that strong. We'll throw out an AoE taunt, we won't be too cruel on DPS. What I tend to do with the weaker targets when there's multiple of them is I just switch between them, and if I have them then I have them, if I don't then I don't really care. But yeah, the whole point to this video guys is just to show you that you shouldn't be afraid to beat a tank at endgame, because it's not the hardest thing in the world. There are harder things in this game than tanking, and tanking is really fun. You guys really should try it out. there is a lack of tanks on probably all servers, to be honest. I'm just going to tell these guys that we're going to do this the proper way.
Yes.
Okay, you should probably get into a habit of doing this, guys, but when it comes to doing bosses, I always put the boss on focus target. This is different if you're a healer, you'd probably do the tank. And somebody's ninja pulling. Lovely. Really hate that. Really do hate that. Okay, so the top right section, which is there, is mine. So when the orbital strike comes, that's where I'm going to be headed. But for now, I'm keeping the boss turned away. Keeping an eye on what he's doing. I can see that he's switched targets, so I'm going to throw a taunt out. I've just been pushed, so I'm going to jump back. I'm going to move out of his AoE. He's not following me, which is fine. And then I'm going to move back and keep him faced away. As always, guys, remember, this is tanking 101. Just going to ignore my own advice there and just stand in that AoE. We're a tank, we can take it. I'm not worried. Alright, so the ads have spawned, so we're going to run to our ads. And we're supposed to jump out with that orbital strike, but that's fine. Actually, the boss has switched targets, so I've just thrown another taunt over there. It's always good to be paying attention to that. Okay, I'm going to stay on the boss now, since the DPS should be taking care of these ads around the outside. Again, moving out of the AoE, keeping an eye on the fight, really being aware of what's going on. Okay, so the boss does like to switch target to Friction, so I now know where to put my guard. Put my guard onto Friction to lower his threat generation. Okay, the ads are coming again, so I'm going to go ahead and plant my strike there. I'm going to go ahead and do an AoE taunt, and I'm going to put Saber Reflect on. I think I caught at least 2 of those ads just there. Gonna move out with that. Yep, so like I said before, guys, just be aware of what's going on. I'm gonna pop a defensive so I can stay inside of here. I did use my Saber ward. We're gonna move out with this AoE. You can see that our gunslinger has popped his shield. Yep. And you can also see that we just got an achievement. What was this achievement for? Huh. Interesting. Apparently I hadn't done this before. Very interesting. Also unlikely, I'm pretty sure I've done that before. Okay, so again with the trash, it's just a couple of strongs. I'm not too worried. So yeah, that's definitely another thing that a lot of the new tanks feel pressured about. They feel like they need to tank everything, and you absolutely don't need to tank everything. I mean, nobody's perfect. If there's just a couple of weeks or maybe just a couple of strongs and it's only a small mob, then don't worry about it too much. Especially when it's only trash. No one cares about trash, just get in there. We don't have any stealthers, do we? Nope, so we're going to have to clear this mob. So there is an elite here, so I know that this is my priority. And I'm using the Saber Throw. Shouldn't be using a Saber Throw to start off with. I'm going to move out of this AoE. And into the healing AoE. Okay, so I can see that there's another 2 enemies up ahead. I'm going to go ahead and jump over there. I'm just going to take the threat of one of them. Like we said before, we're not too worried. The other one's fine. Just likes to throw his AoE out. Okay, so we know that a champion's going to spawn here. There he is. We're only doing this to get his attention. Okay, someone else got his attention before I did. We're going to throw a taunt out. And we're going to use Saber Reflect. Okay, so there was a couple of enemies behind me. I wasn't worried about this, I didn't need to keep an eye on. And it's just an easy kill. Okay, so anticipating the next mob, I can see that there's 2 strongs and 2 weaks. I'm gonna jump in straight for this strong here, and I'm gonna throw in a backhander. Just gonna throw out the AoE taunt, might as well. I can see that this strong here was on the healer. I did correct that by attacking it. Probably the only time I would be worried about the trash not being on you is when they're on the healer, since we did talk about pushbacks in a previous video, and your healer will get pushbacked if you do not help them with their aggro, which is obviously not good because you want the healer to be able to heal you. Okay. So there is an elite here. Just focusing on this elite, we're not too worried about the rest. And we took care of it pretty easily. Anticipating the next mob, there's only 1 strong. So we're just going to jump in straight on this strong here. We get a fast sweep out so we get some attention. And easy stuff. Okay, anticipating the next mob again, we can see we have 1 elite and 1 strong. Straight in for the elite. Focus on this guy, we keep his attention. We interrupt him if we can. The less damage your enemies deal, the less work your healer has to do, which is always a good thing. A healer under pressure is never a good thing. Okay, so this is a boss fight, so I know that I do need to tank this properly. So we'll just jump straight in and we're going to the boss. I'm going to throw a taunt straight out though. It's usually not always a good idea to taunt straight away. It's usually good to jump in or charge in, throw a couple of builds out and then a taunt. Because the time that you wasted just throwing out the taunt, one of your DPS could have bypassed your threat. So it's usually good just to build up for a couple of seconds, a good 3 or 4 seconds, and then throw a taunt out. So we're going to move out this AoE, we know it's a nasty one. Okay, so this boss is really annoying, disappears, goes into stealth. And we have these 2 droids to deal with. Just going to do my best to keep them away from the DPS for now. We're not particularly worried about these kind of droids, so they don't do that much damage unless you stand in their AoEs, which hopefully none of these guys are stupid enough to do. Okay, so the boss is back. Gonna keep him turned away, or her turned away. The gunslingers using their shield even when they don't really need to, which is always a good thing. That probably didn't make much sense to you, but I just mean the less damage we take, the better. Okay, so there is 2 elites here, and I know that these guys are slightly stronger, so I'm going to try to tank both of them. Although our DPS took care of them pretty quickly. And since they did take care of them pretty quickly, I now know the next time that I don't have to be as worried about them. Okay, so if we stay grouped together, then the boss is going to spawn around here, so there we go. Again, keeping the boss faced away, tanking 101. I will keep mentioning this as much as I need to. Just hanging on in there, keeping the threat. We can see that some ads have just come down, so we're going to go for these ads here. I'm going to taunt the one that I didn't jump to. Okay. So we don't seem to be having too much of a problem with taking care of these trash ads. So I will not be too bothered about tanking them to the best of my ability. I'm just going to throw a taunt out here just so I know I've got the boss. Again, keeping the boss faced away. As long as the boss is facing you and no one else, then that's fine. Boss is going back into stealth. 2 more droids. I'm going to use an AoE taunt, I'm going to use Saber Reflect. We might as well. Should keep both of them on us. Yep, that's 1 down. And there's 2. Easy stuff. Throwing a taunt out just so we make sure that we get the boss and no one else. Hopefully we get the kill this time before she stealths out again. She did stealth out. That's really annoying. Okay, so we're keeping the ads focused on us. This one has swapped, but it's dead, so we're not really worried. Lovely. Okay, so the boss is dead. I'm gonna take one quick look at this loot, and I'm gonna save it to see that it's crap. Actually, to be fair, that's pretty good, to be honest. Well, the enhancement is anyways, but we don't need it, so we're just gonna ignore it. We don't really need the comms either. I don't know why I'm picking up comms. Okay, so I know that we can skip the next mob, so we're just gonna run around it. Since it's just one guy and 20 others just burst in afterwards. So we're going to skip that. Apparently we're skipping the next mob too. I'm just gonna jump up here instead since I'm really lazy. And we're missing somebody. Somebody's on their way now. Who is it? Would be our healer, so we should probably wait. Say probably, we should definitely wait. It's also something that you should be aware of as any type of role really, but especially as a tank, of where your healers are. Okay, so our healer has pulled the mob ahead. I'm just gonna go in and rescue our healer. He says oops, but he doesn't give a shit really. Okay, easy stuff, easy trash. Again, we focus on the strongest one that we see first. Okay, so we're going to do a saber throw on just one of them to try and get their attention, which really didn't work. But we're not worried. Again, don't feel pressured by mobs. They're just mobs. As long as you're in there, in the fight, and not just AFK, then that's fine. Okay, so we are approaching the final boss fight now. Come on, clicky click. Lord go.
So
Gonna get in there first, gonna put a focus target on. If If you realise that I didn't put a focus target on the last boss, and that's because that boss kept stealthing out and my focus target would have just disappeared, which is why I didn't do that. Okay, so this one has pushed me. There's nothing I could do. I was stunned. Okay, attacking the Datacron, so we're going to attack this Datacron now. Help our DPS out. Again, just face away. This guy really likes to push the tank. Okay, so now he's just going to blast out a load of AoEs. I'm going to do my usual and not panic. This is usually the best thing to do in an AoE storm like this, even on like Bula, is to just progress slowly. That way you're not just running around like a headless chicken like everybody else just did. If you're running around too quickly, then you're just going to spread them around the room a lot faster, and the chances are that somebody else will walk into it. Okay, so I can see that the gunslinger did put the shield up, so I'm going to come over into the shield. Get some extra defensive boost. Again, being aware. Okay, so he has jumped to his Datacron. Should have planted a little air lead there, but it's okay. It stopped us from being thrown. Okay, so another AoE storm. Just gonna move slowly. We don't need to worry. And see, this is what happens if you run around like a headless chicken. Just move slowly, move out of the AoE, don't get clipped. It's that simple. Okay, not really sure what happened there. Okay, did res. Just not accepted. Okay, taking the threat back as soon as we're able to. Gonna use the target of targets to target this Datacron. Jumping straight back in there. He's gonna use chain lightning, so I'm gonna get pushed here. Yep. Switch targets, so I'm gonna throw a taunt out to get him back on. Keep him faced away and let the DPS finish him off. There we go. And we really don't care about the gear, and we really don't care about comms either. In fact, let's have a look. 2 elite comms. See, we're just gonna pass those. We don't care about comms. Comms are bad. Comms are ugly. Heading this way. So there you go, guys. That was just a hard mode flashpoint in like 25 minutes or something. It's fairly easy to do. There's nothing to be worried about at all. Just because you're a tank, don't feel like you have too much responsibility, because you don't. Not unless you're in like a hard mode operation, and then the tables kind of turn a little. I really hope that you guys found this video useful. As I said before, guys, I really wasn't sure what to do for the third part of the tanking guides. So if you feel like I've missed something, or there's something you'd like to know specifically about the tanking guides, then please let me know and I'll work on a video on that for you. If not, then please remember to like the video, as this does take time to make. I do appreciate all those likes. I'm just kidding, you don't have to like it. You can dislike it if you want, it doesn't really bother me either way. But subscribe if you want to see more videos, more helpful videos. I do plan on making another tips and tricks video pretty soon, part 2 to that. So that would be pretty cool. Have some future projects all planned. It's just really getting them done when I'm not too busy. I do have my new microphone now, as I said at the beginning of the video, so that's a bonus. It's kind of motivated me to do some more videos since the last microphone is really bad. So yeah, like I said before guys, I really hope that you guys found this useful. If not, then let me know what you will find useful and I'll work on that for you. And that will be all for now folks, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.